Ramayan is a huge poem from ancient India, around 7,000 years old, and it was the native people of India who first began the tradition of celebrating Diwali. Today I will tell you some of it in a shorter story that I made called a Rainbow Ramayan. Each colour of the rainbow will take us through this beautiful story. What was the first colour of the rainbow? That's right, red. Starting with red. Red reminds us of the colour of love. And this story starts with the wedding of Sita and Ram. When Princess Sita chose to marry Prince Ram of Ayodhya, they both put red gum powder on each other. In ancient times, it was discovered that when this particular powder was placed between the eyebrows, it transferred certain energy to a person, which helped them be healthy, calm, and even protected. The people of Ayodhya were dancing, playing music, and singing with joy on their wedding day. Everyone couldn't stop smiling, apart from Queen Kaikeyi, who was feeling jealous. She did not want Ram to be the next king. "Go away and don't come back for 14 years, she demanded. Prince Ram didn't mind at all, as he only wanted to help others, and he didn't need to be a king to do this. When Ram left Ayodhya to go to the forest, Princess Sita said, "I'm coming too." And Ram's little brother Lakshman said, "And me." They didn't want fame or fortune. They wanted to help others too. Living in the forest was not an easy task for anyone, but Ram and Sita and Lakshman practiced yoga every day. This helped them to keep their mind balanced, stay connected to nature, and the forest was actually a great place to practice. Orange reminds us of an energy channel that can be found when practicing yoga. They spent their days meditating and helping all sorts of forest life. One day, a golden orange deer was sent to them for help. But really, it was sent by Ravan, an evil king about to play a trick. Sita was watering the plants when she saw the deer looking bothered. "Please help that deer. Bring it here, and I will look after it like a pet," asked Sita. Ram agreed and went to find it, but he took far too long. So Sita asked Lakshman to go and find out what had happened to Ram. Lakshman took out his arrow and drew a line all the way around the hut. "Please don't cross this line. It's an energy field from the energy I gathered through my yoga sadhana. If you stay inside this line, you will be safe." So Sita went back inside the hut and waited for them to come back. Did you notice somebody? Is somebody watching? Ravan, the king of Lanka, was in disguise. Look, he was wearing a simple yellow shawl. He was pretending to be poor. "Please, someone, give me food. How cruel that you won't come out and help me." And then he pretended to walk off. Seeing the man walk away, Sita hurried past the line and Ravan grabbed her hand. "Ha ha! You're mine from now. Forget Ram and live as my wife in my castle." "Never. My love is for Ram," said Sita. Ravan turned green with envy, so he picked her up and put her on his royal aircraft. But getting away wasn't so easy, as the forest animals were watching. And Jadayu, the bird, tried to stop Ravan, flying off through the skies. "Stop, Ravan! Leave Sita alone!" Ravan took out his sword and clipped off poor Jadayu's wing, and Jadayu fell to the ground. Ram! Ram! Ram and Lakshman found Jadayu and they stroked his head. He told them all about Ravan. "Don't worry, we will find her," said Ram, and off they went. Ram knew that Sita was very strong and she didn't need to be rescued. But he loved her and he knew that Ravan had to be stopped. Sita decided to remove one piece of jewelry one by one and threw it to the ground, leaving a trail so Ram could find her. As they walked through the forest, Ram and Lakshman met Hanuman. Hanuman knew of Ram's kind spirit and was his biggest follower. He promised to help and gathered the men from his tribe too. You may have heard or seen that Hanuman is a monkey. Let me tell you about that. In ancient India, when they wanted to tell stories, they used pictures just like this, like the one I drew. Everyone knew that animals had certain qualities, and monkeys were known for being strong, acrobatic, energetic. Monkeys were so powerful and amazing. So to show that Hanuman and his tribesmen were almost so superhuman, they drew them as monkeys. So Hanuman is not actually a monkey, but is known for being such a superhuman that they drew him as a monkey. He was incredibly powerful and could do some spectacular things with his energy. Now, back to the story. When they came out of the forest and saw the long, long, long sea in front of them, they wondered how would they get to the golden city of Lanka when they don't have a boat big enough to carry them all. So Hanuman had an idea. He looked at the long sea and he bowed down. He picked up a stone and he wrote the name of Ram on the top. When he placed it in the water, the stone didn't sink, it floated. And just like that, he passed on one stone and then another to his friends, and they all built a bridge that went all the way across to Lanka. They say it was Hanuman's true devotion that created such energies for something special like this to happen. They all walked across the bridge, heading to Lanka. It was the evening now, and a big battle started between Ram's army and Ravan's army. This may look like fireworks in the sky, but actually the sky was filled with big bangs and booms, arrows of fire being showered and swords being swung. Can you spot Ravan? Am I getting close? Can you see someone with 10 heads? There. Ravan didn't actually have 10 heads. Ancient Indian artists till now painted Ravan like this to show he had many different sides of him, such as anger, greed, selfishness, jealousy, cheating, lying, all the bad things you can think of. But he had one head that was full of goodness. The 10 heads showed that his mind was not balanced. It leaned more towards the bad than the good. Ravan stopped following the path of yoga, and this is why he was not as balanced as Ram. Still, it was very hard to beat Ravan, as he was still protected from his yoga sadhana that he used to do when he was a younger boy. Ram was the only person who could stop him. He picked up his bow and pulled back the arrow. Ram let go, and the arrow finally struck Ravan where he was weak. Ah! This time Ravan finally fell, and Ram had won the battle. As Ram had a very balanced mind, he was very understanding of others. He could see a good side in Ravan. He could see that one good head full of goodness, and so he forgave him. Sita was finally free, and they were ready to return to Ayodhya as 14 years had finished. Ram knew many people of Ayodhya were still a bit silly and wouldn't trust Sita, as they thought she was now Ravan's friend. Ram trusted her and didn't need any proof. But if he wanted to help all of the people by becoming their king, he did need the people to trust him. So he asked her to take a certain energy test to prove she is still the same. Sita agreed. She knew that Ram could make the people's lives so much better, and other people's lives mattered more than theirs. If the people didn't trust Sita, then it would be hard for Ram to go back, and it was time for Ram to serve his people. Sita took the test and was successful. Now they could all return home. The 14 years were over, and they all returned to Ayodhya. Once again, the people were joyous, and the Queen Mother was very sorry for sending them away. The streets were lit up with candles, creating a welcoming, beautiful night sky. And this is a night we remember that in darkness there can be light. It's within us all to make this happen and learn from their way of life. Happy Diwali!
Happy Diwali, children!